Who is about to grab that final spot in our semifinals? Will it be LSU or Stanford? The 3 seed, the 11 seed, about to go head-to-head here in the quarterfinals. Lineups for this one? Should be a fun match. Where are you looking at, Holly?
The top of the lineup looks really interesting, and 1s and 2s have played before. Stanford prevailed, but LSU playing really hungry right now.
Yeah, they are a super hungry team. Andrea Carter on the sand for us. How are the LSU Tigers getting ready for this one?
Well, Courtney, the LSU Tigers, they are locked in. If you think about it, they did 2 things yesterday with their win against TCU. They pulled off an upset, and they avenged a loss from earlier in the season. They are looking to do those same 2 things today against Stanford. Stanford beat LSU at LSU 5-0 earlier in the season, but head coach Russell Brock said that lineup that played against Stanford last time was a completely different lineup. He said that lineup was better on paper, but they didn't play better. With this lineup here today, he said if we play well, we can beat anyone.
Yeah, they've made a lot of changes since that time. And Holly, what do you think about the lineup and especially their performance with these pairs yesterday, talking about LSU?
They came out really aggressive, and we talked about them losing blockers, but they have players who've stepped up and are making an impact as defenders at the net. And I was really impressed. The adjustments in all the pairs, especially 3, 4, and 5, were big.
So if you want to go over and check out a certain court, make sure you go to ESPN Plus. All 5 courts will be in action at the same time, and they will all be streaming live on ESPN Plus. So a perfect opportunity if you want to pull up that second screen, your phone or your iPad, zone in on a court, and then stay here with us on ESPN2 as we hop around. We're going to start with the 1s. Gabby Bailey and Ellie Shank of LSU taking on Zolani Hodel and Brooke Rockwell of Stanford for a spot in the semifinals. And Zolani Hodel taking the first swing and putting it in the sand for Stanford.
It's going to be interesting to see strategy out of the gates from LSU. Most players keep it on the freshman Rockwell in these big moments. First serve went to Zolani Hodel, the senior.
Stanford in the white jerseys, LSU in those purple jerseys. Ellie Shank gets the swing, and Ellie Shank making her 3rd NCAA appearance. And this is her last tournament, Holly.
And you know that she's motivated. She has been one of the best competitors for LSU over the years, and this team has been good, all as the #1 pair, 14-7.
And one of their more experienced pairs, and Russell Brock told us this pair, they always give us a chance. There is always hope on their court, as there's going to be a ball handling error or double contact called against Stanford.
I saw yesterday that Gabby Bailey was making big moves as a blocker, and sometimes when people make big moves, they surprise people and get blocks for points.
Gabby Bailey listed at 6'1", not the biggest blocker, Coach Brock said, but she's physical, she's explosive, and that can mess with some offenses.
And she's really good at affecting hitters by watching their approach, reading where they're going, and then jumping into things that appear open when you're attacking.
Zolani Hodel serving for Stanford. The swing and the kill from Gabby Bailey.
One of the teams needs to be more aggressive from the service line to create more point scoring opportunities. We've been in system most of the time.
Let's see if Ellie Shank can do that here with her serve. And it's a service error. She was trying to go down the middle. This Stanford pair on the other side, we mentioned it, how at Stanford, you know, they don't get a lot of transfers. They work on growing their athletes. And Zolani Hodel, I feel like she has been there forever, but she is a senior playing with a freshman in Brooke Rockwell.
She is very experienced. She played at the top of the lineup most of her career, and she is a physical blocker, multi-sport athlete, and that shot is fantastic onto that rainbow trajectory over the defender. Watch this ball here. You see it on the defense. Brooke Rockwell all over that. And then Zolani Hodel does all she can to get her feet under her and then deep over that defender. What a shot.
Yeah, you see her athleticism. Talking about Zolani Hodel in every play. 89 career wins, the second most in program history. You mentioned the multi-sport. She played 5 different sports in high school, and she told us, you know, whatever sport would get me to Stanford, that's what I was going with.
And I love that. I used to hear about Zolani Hodel in the junior game. Everyone's like, oh, Zolani's amazing, but she's a really high-level goalie, so we only see her once in a while. And now she's just been full-time beach volleyball, and what an athlete, what an impact she has had for Stanford beach volleyball.
Talking to the players, she told us, it was like, why did you choose Stanford? She goes, because it's Stanford. That was it. No other explanation necessary.
And her mom happens to be a Stanford alum as well. So she might have been influenced in that direction, but what a fantastic university.
She's going to be called in the net, so that'll be a point for LSU. All 5 courts going on at once. The winner to the semifinals to take on UCLA. Going to 21 here in this first set. You have to win by 2. Hodel will set up Rockwell, but she is absolutely rejected by Gabby Bailey.
And that's the eye work I told you about, affecting her hitters. She watches anything tight, good hand work. She sees the approach and then press over, sealing back into the court for the LSU point.
Rockwell with a pretty set for Hodel. Ellie Shank, just a little bit too wide on that swing.
And she was early on her approach, which took her dynamic athleticism out of the play, and the shot goes wide. She needs to wait and stay aggressive behind that ball, especially after a dig.
In comes Shank, looking to cut it and got it too far into the net.
Well, when you have Zolani Hodel in front of you, she's a big blocker, and Brooke Rockwell is so quick behind the block, it puts a lot of pressure on you as a hitter, and you think it has to be perfect, but you want to stay aggressive first.
Andrew Fuller, the head coach for Stanford, told us Zolani Hodel and Brooke Rockwell, they are scary and dynamic. They can score points in bundles if you're not careful, and there's going to be a double contact called on LSU.
And with hand setting, the ball is sweaty and wet, and it can slip through your hands, and we've seen already 2 double contact. That ball has to come out clean, and when it's wet, it's hard to get that clean set to come out of your hands.
I do feel like it's a bit hotter than yesterday. The sun's out more. We saw some overcast skies yesterday.
And the humidity is high.
Yes. So they will switch sides here. Every 7 points, the players switch sides. We're going to switch courts and go over to the threes. Again, this is what it'll look like if you pull it up on ESPN+. You'll have all the scores from all 5 courts. We're going to focus in on the threes. Ella Larkin and Aubrey O'Gorman facing Kelly Velarde and Chloe Hoffman. Now, we were just at the ones where Ellie Shank is playing for LSU. One of her best friends is Ella Larkin, and they train together.
They have been best friends for a long time, and they've both been huge parts of this LSU program over the years. For Stanford, Chloe Hoffman and Kelly Velarde are 2 players who grew up playing on the beach, not in the same area, but lots of beach experience. Even though Chloe Hoffman, number 11 in white, is just a freshman, very high volleyball IQ.
Yeah, a freshman and a sophomore on the Stanford side of the sand in those white jerseys. In comes Ella Larkin. One-handed save by Velarde. She gets up to attack on this thing and will poke it. Larkin off the tape. Chloe Hoffman's turn over the block. Guess who's there? It's Larkin again. And just out as Ella Larkin was trying to be aggressive.
I love that she was going for it because everyone was shooting it and each team was picking it up. Good aggressive swing obviously didn't go in her favor, but Stanford needs to be more aggressive in transition and end that rally sooner.
So this LSU pair, they're an AVCA Top Flight Award winner, which means they played at least 15 matches together, and they won 75% of those matches. Actually, their very first match together, they defeated the Norse Twins of USC.
And that was a big one, obviously, one of the toughest teams to beat at the threes.
Chloe Hoffman, the freshman out of Santa Barbara, getting set to serve. O'Gorman turns it past the block. Yeah, this duo also an AVCA Top Flight Award winner, 19-3 on the season. They're at the threes.
And last year, Kelly Bilardi was a Top Flight Award winner with Ashley Vincent. They were both freshmen. One of the winningest pairs of all time for Stanford, just as freshmen.
This pair that you're watching here for Stanford, that is in from Ella Larkin on the ace. But going back to the Stanford pair, they were 14-0 going into Pac-12s, and that's where they had their first losses last weekend. And they've really been using that to fuel them into the NCAAs.
Yeah, they went into Pac-12 hot. They were the hottest team, and then really struggled. They could not find the rhythm. It was hot and windy, and they just had to put that behind them.
Stop it!
How about that? I love the aggressive topspin jump serve. We saw it yesterday in the upset over TCU, but look at Ellen Larkin get after it. We saw her go sharp into the wind, cross court on Chloe Hoffman, that time going deep middle, moving it around the court.
I mean, serving aggressive is so important, especially when you're facing this level of competition in the quarterfinals in the NCAA tournament.
That time, Chloe Hoffman shifted to the right side and gets her first ball side out.
Kelly Bilardi will take her hand at a serve for the Cardinal. Bit of an easy serve. LSU, no problems. And able to terminate is Ella Larkin. So remember, the winner of this duel is moving on to the semifinals to face UCLA, who just won. They just beat Cal, and you see the UCLA threes are huddled in a tent. Got an acai bowl in there, watching on, doing a little scouting.
Kenzie Brower and Jessie Smith, they take notes, and that's something that they've learned to do over the years. You see them with clipboards in their lap. One eats, one takes notes. Teamwork.
Let's see, would I be eating and you taking notes?
Well,
I mean, I am pregnant, so.
Yeah, I would let you eat. I would take the notes.
UCLA, by the way, they've gone 2-2 against Stanford this season. Against LSU, they've gone 2-0. But anything can happen when you get to the semifinals of this tournament.
You heard two calls from LSU, high line and then cross. That means the defense is moving late and you have to adjust your call.
So a close set here at the threes. All 5 courts in action under the sun here in Gulf Shores. How cool. Ellie Shank and Ella Larkin, of course, growing up playing together. Now Ellie Shank at the ones for LSU, Ella Larkin at the threes for the Tigers. They both played indoor for Ella's dad. They were both setters, and now here they are on the beach.
I love it, and I love that they got to play some of the season together. They had to spread the wealth, and that's coach's decision, Russell Brock, but both having big impacts on this program at the ones and the threes.
Yeah, we'll go back to the ones here where Gabby Bailey and Ellie Shank are up 15-9, and they'll take a seat here. So let's head back over to the threes. Ella Larkin and Aubrey O'Gorman facing Kelly Bilardi and Chloe Hoffman. Just a 2-point lead for this Stanford pair. Tough first contact for O'Gorman. And then it goes long, a point for the Cardinal.
And it started with the service pressure. Chloe Hoffman able to get LSU out of system. That's set way off and an unforced hitting error. And that was something they went back and looked at. They watched film after the Pac-12 see the details that they can focus on, and serving was a big category.
And Chloe Hoffman, number 11 in that white jersey, I mean, she is a freshman, but Andrew Fuller told us this is somebody that loves to lock into the game plan. She loves film. He said, we'll be going down to breakfast at the hotel, and she's got her teammates huddled around at breakfast talking strategy and game plan before their duel.
And in the fall, she was top 3 in all the skill categories, just coming in as a freshman. Well played by Ella Larkin to get her feet to that ball.
O'Gorman hits wide. So Stanford goes up 15-12 here in the first set, going to 21.
Good dig by LSU. They need to capitalize on that opportunity. At this level, you're not going to get that many balls right in your lap. transition kills are crucial.
O'Gorman takes some off of it, places it in the sand where nobody is.
Well played, and we switch sides.
Switch sides every 7 points. Let's bring in the fives on the right side of your screen. Emily Meyer and Yali Ashush for LSU facing Maya Harvey and Ashley Vincent of Stanford, and it's the LSU duo that's up by 4. Maya Harvey will be back to serve for the Cardinal.
Maya Harvey, part of that senior class, third most winning player in Stanford history, and she's playing with sophomore Ashley Vincent.
The Stanford pair, they'll split block. Harvey on the hustle, but there was a wall in front of her from Emily Meyer.
That ball set tight to the net because Ashley Vincent on the run to set that ball. And how about the block by Emily Meyer?
Meyer spent 3 seasons at FIU playing indoor and beach. Keep in mind, this is an LSU team. They lost every single blocker from last season.
Incredible. In LSU, traditionally, they are big blocker, small defender team. Every year, that's what they're famous for. And they had to completely revamp this season.
And for them to be here in the quarterfinals too with all of that, that's really impressive.
It says a lot about Russell Brock and the athletes that he recruits.
How difficult, Holly, your defender, would it be to change to a blocker?
Well, for me, impossible. No, I
not
mean,
for you.
Well,
nothing's impossible
well,
for you.
For at my size, it wouldn't be advantageous.
Yeah. I think I'm that tall in my head.
Right?
She's up line. Y'all here.
Reaching for it, Ashley Vincent with one hand. She is everywhere on the sand right now. Vincent coming in and gets the kill. I mean, she just ran the entire court.
Impressive defensive reads. Picked up the cut shot, picked up the over on 2. And her nickname in juniors was Smashley, and you'll see her do that in transition. Look at her get her feet to this ball. Big arm for the point.
It's the only pair for Stanford that does not have a freshman on the court. Ashley Vincent, a sophomore, Maya Harvey, a senior. There goes Vincent grazing the tape. Vincent looking for the poke, rejected by Meyer. Maya Harvey too much into the angle, and a point for LSU. So they go up 19-14. We want to bring in the ones because they're getting closer and closer to finishing. It's a race to 21 points.
Impressive start for Bailey and Schenk at the ones for LSU.
Brooke Rockwell will serve with some work to do. Right side of your screen will go full to the ones as they're wiping some sand off glasses at the fives. And a service error makes it set point Tigers.
Last time these two teams met at the ones, it was a 3-set battle going to Stanford.
Brooke Rockwell scooped up by Schenk. Schenk's going to win that battle with Zolani Hodel, and LSU takes set 1 at the ones. We go over the 2s. It's set point for Stanford. Ruby Sora and Taylor Wilson facing Parker Bracken and Riley Allred. Also set point on the 5s for LSU. And a service error, though.
No, it dribbled over.
Oh, excuse me, an ace. Stanford wins the opening set at the 2s, 21-18. Sora and Wilson. Now the 4s, the only court that has not finished their opening set, and it is set point for Clara Stowell and Kate Riley of Stanford. taking on Skylar Martin and Amber Haynes. LSU has won the first set at 2 of the 3 courts that have finished. Here's Clara Stowell. Still set point here for the Cardinal. This time the freshman Skylar Martin out of Canton, Georgia, member of the CCSA all-freshman team. She'll get the serve here. Stowell taking it. Opening set to Stanford at the 4s.
Kate Riley holding it down at the 4s for Stanford. Really calm play with her freshman partner, Stowell.
Stanford has taken the opening set at 2 courts. LSU has taken the opening set at 2 courts. Got a close one here in our final quarterfinal of the day. So all the first sets have finished. LSU winning the first set on 3 of the 5 courts. So can the run continue here for the 11 seed in this tournament, taking on the Stanford Cardinal? Stanford the 3 seed. And over at the 2s, Ruby Sora is playing there for Stanford, and Ruby's dad is standing by with Drea.
Well, Courtney, at first, I couldn't hear Ruby's dad. I couldn't see Ruby's dad. This is Hiller Sora, but I could hear him from very far away. Mr. Hiller, I know your daughter is playing, but why else are you bringing so much energy to the sand?
Well, it seems like there's 10 times more LSU fans here, so I think I have to cheer 10 times as loud to make up for it.
You definitely are making up for it. And your daughter
Let's
Ruby.
go, Stanford!
There it is. There it is. Your daughter Ruby, just a freshman. You all are from Toronto. What does it mean for her to be out here on this stage?
Honestly, this is such an incredible venue and event, and to be playing with the best players all across America and from around the world, it is absolutely an incredible experience for the players as well as the spectators. This is amazing.
Ruby has 2 older sisters, I believe. One played rugby, one played basketball. Ruby's here playing beach volleyball. What was the household like with those growing up?
Well, Mom was a basketball player, Dad was a volleyball player, so there was always a little bit of battle. And so the middle daughter chose to be neutral. And here we have now Ruby playing at the beach tournaments at the NCAAs.
Is it hard for you not to imitate what she should be doing out there since you played volleyball?
Yeah, I'm constantly moving. That's why I can't be sitting in those front row seats over there. Not a chance.
Well, I'm sure she feels your presence. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Andrea. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ruby's dad played volleyball at the University of Toronto. Ruby told us her dad ran volleyball camps during the summers in Canada, and her sisters always went. They let Ruby start at age 5, and she said, my first one, I wore a pink tutu.
Wow, that'd be a nice volleyball outfit. I like it. A little style.
But that's how she started. Her dad, Hiller, Drea just talked to, got her started on the beach. And here she is, a freshman, playing for Stanford in the quarterfinals. Minus the pink tutu.
She's got international experience playing at the junior level for Canada. So a mature competitor.
That point is going to go the way of LSU. Parker Bracken and Riley Allred, both making their 3rd NCAA appearances with the LSU Tigers. And a service error by Allred. Ruby, the freshman.
Played on the boys volleyball team and won all the awards. She was something special as a competitor. Team MVP.
Super close. Taylor Wilson decided to go ahead and go for it.
Well, Ruby Sora was telling her out, 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 but Taylor Wilson was there with her feet, thought that might drop in, but gets away from her. Really nice, deep, disruptive serve for Parker Bracken of LSU.
Goes Sora right in front of Parker Bracken for the point.
You see a lot of teams directing their offense out of the middle. It puts an awful lot of pressure on the blocker and the defender to pick a side.
Riley Allred. Ruby Sora got a hand on it, trying to send it right over. One-handed save by Parker Bracken, but LSU can't send it back.
Fantastic hustle by Taylor Wilson and Ruby Sora. What platform control to drop a short ball. Look at the hustle sliding under, and then the short shot. That's not easy to do on the run.
These two got together, Ruby Sora and Taylor Wilson, because they needed to train with a different style of volleyball. So they threw them together to work on that, and you know what? They looked pretty good doing it. And there's another point for the Stanford duo.
Both Ruby Sora and Taylor Wilson training for the U21s, and they played with the Mikasa ball. That's a different feel and touch, so they needed those reps together, and it paid off for Stanford.
So all 5 courts are in their second set. LSU was able to take the first set at 3 of the 5 courts. The first team to win the match at 3 courts wins the duel and advances to play UCLA later today in the semifinals. Let's go back to the ones. Bailey and Shank won that first set 21-12, but Hodel and Rockwell battling back here. They've got a 1-point lead in set 2. Hodel getting underneath it, setting up Rockwell. Ellie Shank, enough said.
Love what she's doing, but I tell you, Gabby Bailey, the blocker at the net for LSU, is making it hard for Stanford to put the ball away clean. That means without them touching it at the net. You see this ball tied to the net. Bailey touches it, slows it down, and then Shank does the rest.
And Gabby Bailey was a transfer from the College of Charleston. The adjustment period, they told us it was really tough in practice. It took her a while. It was frustrating. She wasn't able to impact the game, but you know what? She stuck with it.
She stuck with the process, and look at the impact she's having at the net against one of the best pairs in the country.
Yeah, a pair for Stanford that's won 25 matches on the season. In comes Rockwell, nobody on, cross court.
That time Bailey choosing to pull off the net, give Brooke Rockwell open net, and I'll tell you, I'm sure Stanford happy about that. Rockwell stays aggressive. You see Bailey pull off the net, trying to help her partner defensively. Rockwell out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. Beautiful cross-court kill.
Yeah, went to Fayetteville High School, which is basically on the campus of the University of Arkansas. And that serve sails long on Hodel. But from Arkansas to an ABCA first-team All-American on the beach.
And to play in Fayetteville, Arkansas, you have to be very dedicated. She had to drive hours and hours to train with all sorts of different people. Spent some of her summers in California.
There's another great touch by Gabby Bailey at the net like a wall.
And that's eye work as a blocker, because her defender was actually in the same angle. Watch her block move. It's to the left because she read the hitter's eyes and what she was doing as an approach. Her defender was right behind her.
So incredible to hear where she started the season just a few months ago in January to where she is now, to be able to make that kind of play.
Incredible.
She's an ABCA second-team All-American this year. Hodel coming in to the back corner.
Good high swing by Zolani Hodel of Stanford. That's really important, especially with the way Bailey of LSU is affecting them defensively.
Bailey sends it over on the option, and comes Rockwell. Shank there. Ooh, just long.
That time an easy option ball goes to Brooke Rockwell, and Stanford able to score, but I think Stanford's serving the ball too easy.
the second jump. Man, a great hustle on both sides. It's going to go LSU's way.
Brooke Rockwell ran that ball down, but Zolani Hodel had to chase it into the referee stand. Good eye work by Zolani Hodel to swat that ball, but LSU does not give up. Look at the pursuit there to keep it alive, and that one just carries too wide for Stanford.
Hodel almost went into the stanchion where the ref is standing.
It looks like Zolani Hodel's asking the referee if there was interference under the net during that play. I did not see it on the replay.
Yeah, I didn't either. They're going to play on Ellie Schenk. We'll get to serve here. We'll check in with Drea on this court in just a moment to find out what she heard. Drea, what were you hearing in that last conversation?
Yeah, Zolani was talking to the referees, and when she came over to this side, she was telling him she felt like she got kicked and couldn't get back up. She said, "Did you see me under the net? I got kicked." Kind of rubbed her arm a little bit. Not sure what happened there.
So either way, Zolani Hodel and Brooke Rockwell have taken a 1-point lead at the technical timeout, so they will sit down here. Want to let you know the Miami Grand Prix next on the F1 schedule. Coverage begins Sunday on ABC at 3:30 Eastern with Grand Prix Sunday. And then the race starts at 4, the Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix Sunday, 4 Eastern on ABC, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. So the scores continuing to come in. All 5 courts in action right now. LSU took the opening set on 3 of the 5 courts. And remember, the first team to win the match at 3 of these courts is advancing to the semifinal.
And I'll tell you right now, Stanford has to respond and be more aggressive in this second set, especially on those courts they lost the first set. LSU is not backing down.
So we'll zoom in on the threes here, where Ella Larkin and Aubrey O'Gorman are up or tied now at 10-all, but they won the first set 21-18 over Chloe Hoffman and Kelly Bellardi. Bellardi saves it and sends LSU scrambling.
Kelly Bellardi, big scream on that play, trying to get her pair fired up. They are in a dogfight at the threes.
So they will sit down at the technical timeout when the score adds up to a total of 21 points. Let's swing over to the fours. Another close second set, tied at 9. Amber Haynes and Skylar Martin facing Kate Riley and Clara Stowell. Haynes about to serve. Riley coming in, grazes it off the tape. Skylar Martin. And poked a little bit too far. It'll go in favor of LSU.
Stanford had a chance that time. I like the idea by Clara Stowell, just missing that ball long.
Andrew Fuller, Stanford's head coach, feels like this is one of his best defensive teams. Kate Riley being that experienced senior, Clara Stowell being the freshman blocker. And there's going to be a net called.
That ball set tight to the net. Kate Riley got a piece of it, but LSU continuing to put the pressure on Stanford.
And Amber Haynes doing it from the service line. This is a kid that's from Baton Rouge and getting to play for LSU. She came to every one of their camps, and she would just come watch duels when the program started, hoping someday of playing for the LSU Tigers.
And Russell Brock said about Amber Haynes, she plays LSU style. She grew up around it. She knows exactly the kind of beach volleyball we want to play.
Technical timeout at the fours with LSU leading by a point after dropping the first set here. To the fives we go. Emily Meyer and Yali Ashush won the first set 21-14, but then look how things have changed in the second set for Stanford, up 14-12. Here's Ashush serving. Maya Harvey. Yali up and the point.
This is a pair for Stanford, Ashley Vincent and Maya Harvey, who need to play aggressive. They don't have a dominant blocker. They split. They have to serve aggressive, and they have to swing. Easy shot inside out, and LSU able to pick it up and then score down the middle for a kill.
Harvey coming in with more power on that swing. Was trying to take the option and be aggressive, but turned it into the net.
I like the idea, but execution off, and Stanford looks like they are calling a timeout. No coach on their bench. They are left to figure it out on their own, but Maya Harvey has tons of experience. Hopefully she can get them out of trouble for Stanford.
Yeah, this is her 4th NCAA appearance. So they'll take that timeout. We will go back to the twos where it's tied, or it was tied at 15. Now Stanford up 16-15 in set 2. You know, Andrew Fuller told us about his Stanford program as a whole. These women are problem solvers. They do preseason self-scouts where they have to bring in scouting reports on their teammates. They know how to handle things. They know how to make in-match adjustments. I think that's why we're seeing these second sets are so close on every court.
I mean, they go to Stanford.
Yeah.
They're brilliant students, so Andrew Fuller putting it on their desk, right? Your responsibility. Let's figure out ways to win. He also allows these players to really motivate one another. Pre-game speeches, they take turns, and it's really important part of what they do before matches.
One of their preseason speakers was Andrew Luck, who obviously played at Stanford, and he talked about nameless, faceless opponents, putting the focus on yourself, not worrying about the other side of the net. And Andrew Luck also told them, we're just nerds going out there and beating up on people.
I love it. Ooh, Taylor Wilson there to dig that ball, gets away from her, but heavy arm by Riley Allred. I love the way LSU is coming out and competing. They don't care who's on the other side of the net. They're playing their style of volleyball, and they're playing fearless, and it's showing.
Speaking of nameless, faceless opponents, that's how LSU is playing today, too. Even though that advice wasn't given to them from Andrew Luck. Parker Bracken readjusting. Wilson lays out for it. Deep poke. Wilson all over it. What a rally! Oh, stuffed! Ruby Sora, filthy!
Taylor Wilson going side to side in the backcourt. Ruby Sora for Stanford patrolling the net. Sees that one go tight. Good press, but there's a cover play, and then back again. A little bit more press there for a big, timely Stanford point.
Loved the angle from our net cam, feeling like you're right there in the point. And so they will take his seat. Stanford up 18-17 in set 2. They're sitting down, so we swing over to the fives once again. Meyer and Ashush for LSU facing Harvey and Vincent. Knotted up at 15. Harvey with the swing and the kill for Stanford.
Ashush almost touches that ball, and well, she does touch it. She just doesn't bring it back into the court. I feel like Stanford can be a little bit cleaner with their offense, finding open sand over the block.
Ashley Vincent about to serve. She has attended every NCAA championship since 2017, but this is her second NCAA appearance playing, just a sophomore, but had a really good sense of what it felt like to watch as a fan. What a layout. Oh, and the hustle for Maya Harvey. Oh, I don't know if that was going to be in.
Close enough that you have to play it, but Maya Harvey all-out hustle to get that over the net, and Stanford needs to make plays like that. Ashley Vincent has one of the highest ace ratios on the Stanford beach volleyball program, and they need some of those right now at the fives.
We'll bring the twos in on the right side of your screen. They are back up as Ruby Sora and Taylor Wilson trying to put a first point on the board. They'll do it with an ace from Sora.
That middle serve so effective. There's two players that need to communicate. That middle serve puts some pressure on the communication. Right down the middle.
So meanwhile, at the fives, it's 17-15 in favor of Stanford. LSU is going to respond at the twos. Riley Allred serving right side of your screen at the twos.
You see that ball slip right through Taylor Wilson's hands, and Ruby Soar put some sand on her arms trying to absorb the sweat, but it is hot and humid, and that is definitely a factor for hand setters.
And we want to take you to the twos right now because it's the closest to finishing at 19. All that ties it, that mistake ties it up at 19. We're going to 21. Coming back over. Hammered by Riley Allred.
How about that block touch by number 10 in purple, Parker Bracken? Slows down the shot and is able to set up her partner for a really important point.
This is set point LSU trying to force a third. They will take a timeout, rightfully so, big moment. So just for a minute, we'll step over to the threes where it's set point Stanford, Belardi and Hoffman.
And you see the response from Stanford at the threes, making some adjustments. Hopefully for their sake, playing a little bit more aggressive. I thought they were a little safe, and especially in terms of their service game in the first set.
You saw Chloe Hoffman pick up the sand and run it through her hands, trying to figure out how the wind will factor into her serve. Ella Larkin, nobody on, and goes after the pulling blocker. Still set point Stanford.
Ella Larkin is such a gamer for LSU. Big moments, she is at her best.
Hard to believe last year was her first only beach year. She's also played on the indoor side at LSU. Belardi. Second set to Stanford. That means we will have a set three at the threes. No court has finished just yet. Back to the twos we go. LSU has a set point. Bracken and Allred.
And on this court, you see the response from LSU.
The ones also have a set point for Stanford. We'll bring them in right side of your screen. Left side, though, are the twos. And that was touched, so it'll be a point for Stanford to tie it. You have to win by 2. Right side of your screen, Stanford set point. We play on.
Well-placed ball at the ones, right over the block of Delaney Hodel.
The power from the LSU pair as Parker Bracken and Riley Allred continue to fight on. It's set point LSU. Still set point Stanford, right side of your screen at the ones. Dribbles over the net, but saved.
What a hustle play, but the tough serve by Shank. Now just within 1 at the ones.
At the twos, LSU takes set 2, 22-20, so we'll have a third set there.
Well, that's fitting.
I know.
You might have 3 sets on every court.
We are not complaining about that.
No, we're not.
Love a close duel. Hodel and Rockwell, another opportunity to close out this set for Stanford. Bring in the 5s too, set point Stanford. Left side of the screen though, the Cardinal looking for one more point. Got the tape.
Stanford cannot play it safe at the ones. Bailey and Shank will come back, have already tied it up. But you can't shoot. You have to be aggressive offensively if you want to finish that duel.
Does it cost them? LSU needs 2 more points, and they win this match, putting a point on the board in the duel. Bailey jumped into the angle trying to stop that swing from Brooke Rockwell, but Stanford set point.
Bailey's touching everything at the net for LSU. So much pressure on Stanford right now.
This will be Hodel. Her focus this season has been working on her serve. We'll see how that work pays off. Pretty good.
It does pay off. A little bit more pace, deeper into the court, creates a passing error from LSU, and that is very timely for Stanford, who needed to push it to a 3rd set at the ones.
So we will have a 3rd set at 4 of the 5 courts. This was match point at the 4s. Stanford able to get it done here at the 4s. Kate Riley and Clara Stowell. So Stanford leading the duel 1-0. You need 3 points in order to win, meaning you win on 3 of these courts. But still anybody's game, as we've got 3rd sets on the way. The 3s have already hopped into their set number 3. So we'll go there now. It looks like Stanford is up early. Set 3 a bit different than the first 2. We played to 15 points. Still have to win by 2. Velarde. 3-0.
Open net, Stanford able to pick it up. But LSU, regardless, even with the open net, they touch it defensively, just can't control it. Ella Larkin right there.
LSU trying to continue a magical run. They were able to pull the upset yesterday in the first round over TCU, the 6th seed. Now facing the 3 seed in Stanford. Larkin looking for the back corner. Hoffman threw a hand up. And then sent it into the net. There's LSU's first point.
Kelly Velarde playing some really good defense in the backcourt. That time, just a bad angle for Chloe Hoffman, and she tries to do too much with it for Stanford.
Velarde just chopped it.
That time the late pull off the net from LSU, and Kelly Velarde stays aggressive for Stanford. Pretty tough serve. She comes into the middle of the court. They call that a 3 set. Chops it cross court. She's really good from the right side cross body.
So the side switch here with Stanford up 3. Want to bring in the 2s. Sora and Wilson out to a quick 5-0 lead, and that means even more when you're only playing to 15 points. Yes, that is in for LSU.
Beautiful deep cross-court shot by LSU to score their first point at the 2s.
I think Chloe Hoffman a bit long on her serve at the 3s. Parker Bracken about to serve at the 2s on the right side of your screen. We'll go full there. And Sora just long, so back-to-back points for the Tigers.
Service pressure creating those opportunities. Stanford unable to get that ball close to the net for a high percentage kill.
Service error by Bracken. Bracken. Dug by Wilson. Right back over by Parker Bracken.
How about that cover play? I mean, it looked like Stanford had a point with the block. Ruby Sora patrolling the net for Stanford. Good right-hand push. And then the stab overhead by Parker Bracken to score the LSU point.
It doesn't have to look pretty.
It doesn't, but the effort
Yes.
by LSU is so impressive. And that's what happens when you make plays like that.
Point for Stanford, and they will switch sides. The NCAA Beach Volleyball Championship coverage continues today on ESPN2. Tomorrow on ESPN. For more information on the NCAA Women's Beach Volleyball Championship, visit NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Our championship duel is tomorrow, 11 Eastern on ESPN. Still a lot of volleyball to be played to figure out who gets there. These two teams battling for our final semifinal spot against UCLA. Here are the scores. 4 of the 5 courts still in action. The 4s are the only ones that have finished, and they put a point on the board for Stanford. You need 3 points to win.
Everything else looks close except for the 2. Stanford with a 4-point advantage.
All courts streaming live on ESPN+. If you want to see a certain court, we'll hop around here on ESPN2. Attacking error by Wilson.
Taylor Wilson for Stanford had the dig and tries to be aggressive, hitting that into the tape.
One side out. Let's go. Get 8. Hey, R5. One stop, Ryan. Be big.
Bracken goes short. Taylor Wilson was there, and she'll turn it into a kill.
Taylor Wilson is such a fantastic competitor, works so hard. She just had that transition air, but gets right back on her aggressive game, swings right in the seam. Andrew Fuller talked about this Stanford pair and said these two players are intense in completely different ways, but love big moments. Deep shot there, gets away from Taylor Wilson, and LSU hanging around Riley Allred. She has worked so hard in the weight room and improved her jump every year.
Yeah, last season she increased her vertical by 3 inches, and they've told us that's continued to grow. She's still working on it.
You see the footwork by Stanford. They fake like they're going back, and then they stayed in front to move Parker Bracken, the big blocker of LSU, around. But you can move them around and try and fake them out, but you got to execute your play. You can't make an unforced error.
Riley Allred makes it 9-6 in favor of Stanford. So 4 of the 5 courts are in a set 3. Stanford needs to win at just 2 more courts in order to advance. LSU has got to win at 3 courts to advance to the semifinals to take on UCLA. Courts 2 and 3 are getting the closest to completion. Remember, we're playing to 15 points here in set 3. 2s on the left side of your screen, 3s on the right side. Sora was rejected by LSU, and Riley Allred.
2 hitting errors, 1 on each court for Stanford. Points going to LSU with the 3s now all tied up at 8s.
2s on the left side of your screen. In comes Sora. She's stopped by Parker Bracken.
Unbelievable. First a hitting error, then a block, which is also a hitting error, but the pressure coming from LSU at the 2s.
And then a service error by Ella Larkin at the 3s. Makes it 9-8 Stanford. Same score in this 3rd set on both courts. Sora. Point for Stanford. They're up 10-8 at the 2s. Meanwhile, tied at the 3s.
And big swing at the threes by Ella Larkin. Kelly Velarde there, but it caught her high, and she was surprised.
Stanford needs 5 more points on the left side of your screen to put a point on the board. Oh, the shoulder save, but just long from Taylor Wilson.
And at the threes, Chloe Hoffman able to hit it wide, catching that sideline for their 10th point.
You got this, Rilo. I feel it. You did deep right here. Great work. Great work. Deep breath, Raj. Great blocking, Raj. Now get a shot. Let's go, Riley. Right here. Yeah.
A service error for LSU at the 2s. Looking at the 3s, right side of your screen, that was Hoffman serving. Larkin here. Hoffman going up for it for the poke. 11-9, Stanford.
At the threes, that's one of Chloe Hoffman's best skills, pulling off the net, digging, and you heard her call for the 3. She wanted to transition out of the middle of the court. Good pull, and she comes into the middle of the court. This stresses the block. Defense has to guess where to go.
LSU point at the 2s. Keep in mind, if Stanford were to win on both of these courts, then they win this duel and they advance. LSU needs 3 more points to win.
Chloe Hoffman, backcourt ace for Stanford to go up 12-9.
We're going to go in full here on the 3s, up 12-9. Want to let you know, too, Stanford is up at the 1s 9-2, so another advantage for Stanford on that court. They're going to take a seat here at the 3s, so back to the 2s we go. Tied up at 11, Taylor Wilson puts it down.
Taylor Wilson makes a really nice decision with open net to go deep cross.
Here's all the scores. 4 of the 5 courts are in a 3rd set. LSU has to win at 3 of those. Stanford, just 2. Oh, Sora.
I love that late pull by Ruby Sora of Stanford into the angle, picks up an easy shot, and then big aggressive swing for the point.
Stanford needs 2 more points on this court. And there's going to be a net violation on LSU.
It appeared that Parker Bracken won the joust, but net violation called Stanford point.
So that means this is match point for Stanford at the 2s.
Here's a good look at it. Little follow through by Bracken with her hand, and Ruby Sora sees it immediately.
Match point for the Cardinal. All red. Down the line, still match point Stanford.
Well played down the line, but now some service pressure and some big defensive plays are necessary for LSU to stay alive.
Sora is out.
Ruby Sora of Stanford crushed that ball, but missed it by an inch wide. I like that she's being aggressive, but now is the time to execute. You do not want to let this pair of LSU back in.
3rd match point Stanford.
You like this? Or this?
Easy shot from Sora there with nobody on. And guess what? LSU has tied it. They face 3 match points
Stanford is not setting the ball to the net where they can hit for a higher percentage. And Ruby Sora, that's an easy shot to pick up. I told you, you cannot ease up against LSU.
Will it cost Stanford there at the twos? We'll check in on the threes now. A timeout on the twos. We'll get back there when they're ready to go. Hoffman and Belardi up 13-11. Hoffman with the easy roll shot. And the joust at the net, won by Ella Larkin. All 5-10 of her.
I'm listening to Stanford in terms of making calls for the hitter, and the defense is really stressing them out. Maybe faking one way, going the other, because they happen to be in the right place at the right time.
I mean, we thought this would be a scrappy duel, right? LSU came in playing so hard, upsetting TCU yesterday. Stanford, who is experienced and played great this season. I mean, it's a tough task for anybody to play this LSU team. Here's the twos, tied at, they're the threes.
Chloe Hoffman misses that ball out, and now we are tied up. Stanford wants a timeout at the threes.
So first to 15, you have to win by 2. So now we will go back to the twos where they are tied up at 14. Stanford had 3 match points and let it slip away. And Sora missed it. It's match point LSU. What a turn!
Unbelievable, but you have to credit LSU. They're touching balls defensively, staying in the play, putting the pressure right back on Stanford.
First match point LSU after fending off 3 Stanford match points. Wilson, tied at 15.
Taylor Wilson, even though she was off the net, good choice to chop that sharp angle. Assistant coach Joe Kremer walking with her 2 pairs, giving them a little information, trying to keep them focused on the goal.
See Ruby Sora's dad, Hiller, watching on. The pressure on, and we bring in the ones now. Hodel and Rockwell 2 points away, now 1 point away from a win at the ones. Sora with the block. It'll be a 4th match point for Stanford at the twos. Meanwhile, right side of your screen, Hodel serving for the match at the ones. Long. Stanford, point on the board at the ones. This has become dual point at the twos. And now tied at 16.
Bracken and Allred not going anywhere for LSU.
Stanford, if they win here on the twos, they win the duel. LSU has a match point at the threes. Hoffman. Sent right back over by O'Gorman. Focus in on the twos here now, tied at 16. Dual point for Stanford at the twos. We'll take you there now.
Head on a swivel.
The toughest duel that we have seen on the beach this weekend. Ruby Sora will serve for the duel. Can Stanford advance?
Parker Bracken for LSU, fired up, big screen through the net. She wants this match. This ball goes tight, and Ruby Sora tries to attack it for Stanford. A lot of emotion in this game.
It's match point for LSU at the threes. LSU up at the twos. And LSU wins the match at the threes. That is the first point on the board for LSU. Stanford leading the overall duel 2-1. You need 3 points to win. LSU has its second match point at the twos. Stanford has had 5 chances to win at the twos, including to win the duel, and has not been able to finish it.
They are not serving aggressive and have taken some heat off some balls. They're not being aggressive enough offensively, and LSU is.
LSU now has match point at both courts. If they were to win on both of these courts, they would win the duel. Two's getting set to go, left side of your screen. And it is shanked out of bounds by Riley Allred. Match point at the fives for Meyer and Ashush. Yali Ashush to serve for LSU. Here comes Harvey. Wanted the touch, won't get it. LSU wins, so it all comes down to the twos. Again, Stanford has had 5 chances to win at the twos and has not been able to finish it. Everybody run over to the 2 court.
This is unbelievable. Continuing to go extra points, and now LSU with dual point.
Third chance for LSU to win here at the twos. It all comes down to this for a spot in the semifinals. Sora with the poke.
Stanford a little out of system, but Taylor Wilson pushes Ruby Sora right back up to the net. A little directional poke. So much more dangerous if your set is tight to the net. Let's see if they go after it with their serve a little bit more, serving to space.
No, they don't. Parker Bracken.
LSU called into the net on the follow through. Parker Bracken crushed that ball cross court. Watch Parker Bracken, number 10 in purple. Hits that net with her hand, it looks like, and Ruby Sora immediately. Hand caught the net on the way down.
Not done. We are tied at 20. Again, the third set is only supposed to be played to 15 points, and we're at 20 all.
LSU responds every single time. I still don't think Stanford is putting enough pace on their serve or serve into space to create some pressure on LSU.
You see Russell Brock, LSU's head coach there, working with Parker Bracken and Riley Allred. It has come down to their court. 4 of the 5 courts went to a third set. And now all that matters is this right here on the twos.
And Russell Brock said, look, we could be dangerous. Nobody wants to play us in this tournament because we are peaking at the right time, and he's proving that.
Winner gets UCLA. I'm not sure the Bruins want to play either of these teams after this duel. Allred serves at Wilson. Taylor Wilson with the poke. Busting up the block, Riley Allred. Dual point LSU for the 4th time.
LSU all over this ball defensively. Riley Allred swings off the block of Sora for the LSU point, but it seems like LSU in the right place every time defensively.
Taylor Wilson going behind, puts it to the sand, tied at 21.
Taylor Wilson is a killer. Big back set Look at her get up and swing. I love that aggressive mindset with everything on the line for Stanford.
It's what you want to see more of out of this Stanford.
Definitely, especially from the service line. They are just putting the ball in play, waiting for their defense to make plays instead of trying to create opportunities.
So a timeout here. What a marathon, Holly. To get here, remember, the fours were the first to finish. They put a point on the board for Stanford. The 4 other courts all went to third sets, and now it is down to the 2s. Stanford has had 6 opportunities to win on this court. LSU has had 4.
Unbelievable. I mean, you just don't want a match like this to end for anybody.
It may never end.
We could be here for a long time.
All right, let's take us through some strategy here. We've mentioned more aggressive for Stanford. If you're LSU and Russell Brock talking to his pair, what do you want to see out of them?
I actually think they're playing really well. They're playing aggressively, putting pressure defensively on Stanford. They just need to take care of their side out. And Stanford has to create point opportunities with a tough serve. A little more pace, a little flatter serve, make them move and serve receive.
The winner of this duel will play UCLA later today in the semifinal. Right now, though, this feels like a national championship duel. USC and Cal Poly waiting in the wings. That will be our first semifinal. They are up whenever this duel ends. Tied at 21. It comes down to the 2s. All red setting up Bracken. Dual point LSU for the 5th time.
Parker Bracken changes direction with that shot. Stanford able to touch it defensively, but they had to bump it over.
Bracken goes at Sora. Tied at 22.
Good communication there, clean high line. We've heard a lot of line angles, so LSU is making late moves. That time, just a clean, clear decision.
Service error, 6th dual point LSU.
And that time, Ruby Sora trying to be a little bit more aggressive from the service line with a flatter serve, but that one just fell short.
LSU has made the semifinals of this tournament before. Stanford has never been there. Again, each team has had 6 opportunities to win this duel. Will this be the magic one for LSU? Saved off the net. Sora sends it out. LSU, the magical run continues. What a wild tale for the Tigers. Parker Bracken and Riley Allred just became heroes in Baton Rouge.
The fight that LSU showed in that particular match, the hustle never stopped, and it paid off in the end. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Stanford with 6 opportunities to win on this court, and they could not close it out. But these 2 for LSU did it. They've got to be exhausted.
I'm exhausted, and I was just watching. Here, Ruby Sora, pretty good pass. She tries to go hard angle, but there's a dig, and look at the dig out of the net that pops over, and then Ruby Sora wants that one back, and LSU celebrates.
Parker Bracken was basically buried in the sand to dig that ball.
What a moment for the LSU beach volleyball program. I mean, they came in as the biggest underdogs and have just had a storied tournament so far.
LSU, the 11 seed, defeating the 3 seed Stanford. That ties the largest upset in this NCAA championship history. What a finish. Riley Allred and Parker Bracken are standing by with Treya.
Ladies, first of all, congratulations. This is the best kind of moment in beach volleyball when it all comes down to one court. How would you describe this environment as you all finish that out?
Honestly, Death Volley compares to this. All the fans always show up and we're at home, and so this environment, we're kind of used to it, so we thrive in pressure, so it's awesome for us.
Yeah, we're so used to this. I feel like just having all of our teammates around just makes it so much better, and you know, we love playing with it, so.
I can't explain how many times Holly McPeak said Parker Bracken is not giving up. Your determined mindset, you even talked about it. How does that determination, where does it come from?
You know, we always say lock in, and we really just like turn a different mindset in our brains, and we're just like, it's all or nothing. You know, this could be our last game, and we could keep going forward. So I think that's the only thing that keeps us going forward. So yeah.
Well, this was a team that lost a lot of blockers. Coach Brock said that you all are underestimated at times. How, as a team, have you been able to overcome that? This is the second upset that you all pulled off in this tournament.
I think the doubt that people have had on us coming back this year, losing like 11 people were leaving seniors last year, I think that just the doubt like fired us up, and we knew we could beat anybody if we put our minds to it.
You all looked fired up completely. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.